Bim bim bam biddy 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 bim bam bim biddy bam bim biddy bim bim bam. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom. Shabbat Shalom. My name is Barry Nicholsberg, and I have the honor of being the cantorial soloist here at Temple Beth David in Snellville, Georgia. Normally, Rabbi Jesse would be saying something right now, but he's on vacation, so I'm a stand-in for the time being. At any rate, we're going to do things a little bit differently tonight, just because we can. I would like to read a poem that has not been read in this synagogue in quite some time. It's called The Best Day, and it was written by Kenny Woodruff, one of our members. The best day has come. It's Friday. It's here. We gather this night amidst family and friends. We sing songs of remembrance and say prayers and rejoice. With candles aflame, the bride will appear. Shabbat is coming. Shabbat is near. The best day awaits us. It's Friday, it's here. We assemble for worship, gather for cheer. Friendship awaits us, surrounds us with peace. We say prayers of devotion, remembrance, release. We sing songs of renewal, affection, and hope. Shabbat is upon us. Shabbat's almost here. The best day is Friday. We enter this space, this temple of worship, this structure of faith, this home of our hearts, this dwelling of light, to share thoughts of happiness, hope, and delight. A bar or bat mitzvah, a wedding, a birth, a time of rejoicing, a time of rebirth. Say Shabbat, say Shabbat, say Shabbat Shalom. The best day is Friday. We mingle with ease, sharing friendship and family with warmth and relief. We nurture, we cherish, we reach out, we pray for our burdened, our weakened, our sick, and our dead. We are no longer lonely, no longer alone. Shabbat is upon us. Say Shabbat Shalom. Thank you very much for being with us. I am now going to invite Judy Kern, our board president. Not that she's bored. No, never mind. She will come down. If you will please turn to page 121. I believe you will find what Judy is going to do. I'm just coming out of the shot here, so I back away.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israels who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu, lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher kitshano b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. We welcome the Sabbath bride with a song known as Lecha Dodi. when we were rehearsing a few minutes ago, Bobby said, are we doing the swing version? And I never thought of this as a swing version, but in fact it is. On the last verse, please rise if you can, either physically and or spiritually, face the door we came in, and we will bow to welcome the Sabbath Queen as that last verse winds up. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nikabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nikabela la 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 la. Lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nikabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nikabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad, Hishmi'anu el hanuchat, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shem v'tiferet la 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 l'chadati, Likrat likrat kala, P'nei p'nei Shabbat nikabela, L'cha l'chadati, Likrat likrat kala, P'nei p'nei Shabbat nikabela. Hitoreri, Kiva orech umi uri shir daberi. Kivot Adonai alayich la 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 lechadati. Likrat kala, pene Shabbat nikabela. Lecha lechadati, likrat kala. Pene Shabbat nikabela. Please rise if you can. Bohi v'shalom ateret bala. Gam besimchat sola. Toch emuneam segola. Bohi chala, la 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 chadati, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nikabela, lecha chadati, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nikabela. Please be seated. I want to recognize and thank Bobby Horowitz, and Frank Monteleone and Andrew St. Clair. It is always a pleasure working with you gentlemen. And Heather and Jim Murray would normally be here tonight, but a tree decided to fall on their fence yesterday or sometime today, and they really have to deal with things. Fortunately, no one was hurt, and just as fortunately, the house itself was not damaged. So, while they do that, we will hold the fort down for them and hope we will see them next week. And I also want to thank Judy Kern and Denise Whitlock, our streaming specialists, because if it were not for them, we would not be streaming tonight. We'd be here, but very few people would know about it. Okay, with that, page 144 is the Reader's Kaddish. And Bobby, if you will, please.
Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah ve'amad yivarach Yerutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chay d'chol Beit Yisrael bagala u'v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mavarach, Le'alam U'al Me'al Maya, Yitbarach, V'yishtavach, V'yitpar, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yithadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitala, Shemei D'Kudashah B'rechu, Le'la Min Kol Berchata V'shirata,
Tosh bechata v'nechemata, damiran b'yama,
v'yimeru.
Amen. Before I ask you to rise for the Baruch, I would like to make a special congratulations to Bobby Ginsburg. She became a great-grandmother for the 5th time this week. And Rabbi Sellers is the little girl's name, and she's a week old. And so we welcome her to our community, and we hope that and pray that she grows to be an exciting and stimulating person. With that, I ask you to turn to page 146 and rise for the Baruch Hu. Please stay standing when the Baruch Hu is over, because we're going to go straight into the Shema. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya. La 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMivorach Baruch Adonai HaMivorach HaMivorach Le'olam va'ed HaMivorach HaMivorach Le'olam va'ed. Please join us for the Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kippur Malchuto Le'olam va'ed. Baruch Shem Kippur Malchuto Le'olam va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Please be seated. So normally at this time I would chant the V'ahavta. But it's not normal tonight. Tonight's Parsha, that part of the Torah which we will read this weekend, is called Ekev. It's Deuteronomy, and for those of you wanting to follow along, 7:12 through 11:25. And the reason I stop for this is because every week I say I am chanting it the same way it has been chanted for thousands of years, because it's when it's in the Torah, there is a cantillation that we follow. It's been passed down for lots of generations, and I trust it will continue to be passed down for many to come. But in tonight's Parsha are the exact words for the V'ahavta, and I would like to read them to you in English. You must place these words upon your heart and upon your soul, and bind them as a sign upon your hand, and let them be for frontlets between your eyes, and teach them to your sons and daughters, and speak of them when you sit in your house and when you walk upon the way, when you lie down and when you get up. Write them on the doorposts of your house and upon your gates, so that the days of your children may long endure the promised land. If you keep these commandments, God will put fear of you into all the lands where you set foot. We will talk more about that last sentence here in a few minutes. But that, when I chant, V'ahavta ha'et Adonai Elohecha, and so forth, that's what's being chanted. That was from Moses. Actually, tonight's entire parsha, from beginning to end, is a quote from Moses. I won't read the whole thing, but we'll talk about it and sum it up a little bit later. If we could, let's turn to page 158 for Michamelcha. Ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la la, ya la 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 la. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha neder b'kodesh, nora tehilot osei feleh, nora tehilot osei feleh. Malechutecha ra'u vanecha, bukei ayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze'elianu v'yamru, ze'elianu v'yamru. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Michamocha ba'elim Adonai, michamocha neder b'kodesh, nora tehilot osei feleh, nora tehilot osei feleh. Such a pretty song. The next one we'll do is Hashkivenu, which I think is the most beautiful lullaby. And it was put to music as it should have been. And we just get to enjoy it every Friday. But reality is we get to enjoy it all the time. We ask God to protect us, put us under His wing, her wing. So the first verse we'll do in Hebrew, and then we will do it in English. And those of you who have been with us before know that I sometimes, will interpret it into American Sign Language while we're singing it in English. Tonight is not one of those nights. Bobby, when you're ready.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, ve'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim, l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, until we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 Think about that. Think about the words in English. We ask so that if we wake up, that's wonderful, and if we don't, it will be wonderful too. we're going to sing Yismechu, which is found on page 162. And as I have in the past, I defy anyone to sing along and not smile. Gentlemen, when you're ready. Yismechu b'malechutecha shomrei 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 Shabbat v'koreh oneg Shabbat. Yismechu b'malechutecha shomrei 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 Shabbat v'koreh oneg Shabbat. Mikadeshei Mikadeshei Shevi Shabbat Kulam Yisbe'o V'yit'angu mitu becha Shabbat Yismechu b'malechutecha Shomrei 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 Shabbat v'koreh oneg Shabbat Yismechu b'malechutecha Shomrei 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 Shabbat v'koreh oneg Shabbat. Uvashmi ratzita bo v'kidashto Shabbat chemdot yamim oto karata Shabbat. B'malechutecha Shomrei 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 Shabbat v'koreh oneg Shabbat. Yismechu b'malechutecha Shomrei 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 Shabbat v'koreh oneg Shabbat. Zecher Lema'aseh v'reishi Shabbat Zecher Lema'aseh v'reishi Shabbat Yismechu b'malechutecha Shomrei 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 Shabbat v'koreh oneg Shabbat Yismechu b'malechutecha Shomrei 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 Shabbat v'koreh oneg Shabbat. I am very grateful to Rabbi Jesse because although I sort of knew this in my head, I'm not sure that I knew in my heart that every Shabbat is a Shabbat to celebrate. And I'm so glad that I've been introduced to that. It really is a celebration, and I'm just so glad that we have come together for it. For those of you who are here in the synagogue, thank you. For those of you who are watching from home, you don't have to wear a mask at home. Thank you for being with us. With that, I invite you to rise for page 164, the Tefillah. Anananananana Adonai Anananananana Latai Tiftach Anananananana Hufi Yagi Tahilatecha Anananananana Adonai Anananananana Satai Tiftach Ananananana Hufi Yagi Tahilatecha Anananananana Adonai Ananananana Satai Tiftach Ananananana Hufi Yagi Tahilatecha. Page 166. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Velohei Avotenu Ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Velohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Velohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor Vehanora El Elyon Gomer Chasadim Tovim V'konei Hakol וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומגולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו ביאהבה, מלך עוזר ומשיח ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ויצרת שרה. Page 168. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הקל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומף נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מחמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך ממית, ומחיה ומצמיע מתשועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Please be seated. Wendy, where are you? Hi, Wendy. Wendy Fine is going to read today. I begin with a prayer of gratitude. I have no idea what page it is, quite frankly. Oh, wait, I do actually. It's on page 126. But we would ask you please to wear your mask when you come down. CDC guidelines being what they are. While she's getting ready, just think about where you were 1 week ago tonight. And think about the week that's come and gone. Were you your best? 126. That's what I have anyway. If you can believe the script. I begin with a prayer. Look at that. Please. Go up there, take the microphone.
I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life.
You need to get closer. Could you start again and just get a lot closer? Thank you. That's
okay,
perfect.
Sorry. Mask. Yes, ma'am. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. Excuse me. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life.
Thank you, Wendy. Yasher Koach. My pleasure, thank you. Our worlds are busy and noisy. Traffic jams, horns blaring, cell phones ringing, text messages buzzing. Too often we hear without listening. Let's take a moment to embrace the gift that only the quiet in this sanctuary and in our own minds can deliver. I invite you to join me in praying silently. ואני תפילתי לך אדוני רצון. ואני תפילתי לך אדוני רצון. אלוהים ברוב חסדך הנני באמת אישך. אלוהים ברוב חסדך הנני באמת אישך. Join us if you can, please, from the top.
ואני תפילתי לך אדוני רצון. ואני תפילתי לך אדוני רצון. אלוהים ברוב חסדך הנני באמת אישך. אלוהים ברוב חסדך הנני באמת אישך.
Bobby found that a few months back, and it has quickly become a favorite. I hope you enjoyed it. I was telling Judy earlier this evening that I can lose things faster than just about anybody I know. And I had lost the outline for this evening's, just misplaced it, but I have it in front of me now, so we're good. So I want to talk for a moment about the Mishaberach, so you can appreciate what it is we're doing, especially if this is your first time with us. The Mishaberach is a prayer to heal. We pray to God for those who are dealing with a physical problem or a problem in their own heads. Wherever the problem may be, we ask God to bring a renewed spirit, a renewed health, peace. So we ask people for the names of loved ones who could use a little prayer right about now. And every week, our entire congregation prays for all of them. If you're watching this via the streaming, what I'd ask you to do is use the chat function and let us know the name. Just type it in, and Judy will be reading those names here in just a moment. Then we will add a few names of our own. Folks out here will add as they wish, and we will go on. Judy, why don't you start?
Susan Ellers, Barb Sarah and Gabe Yarborough, Ann Olin, Susie Horowitz, Larry and Bobby Crone, Emily Holler, Rebecca Hilgendorf, Evan Holler, Sarah Gambrell, Danielle Strumer, Katie Walmer, Shelley Perkle, Morrison Felice Friedman, Peter Yarrow, Sandy Steinberger, Jovita Moore, Bob Kersner, Tom Garland, all those suffering from COVID-19, the families of those killed in Surfside, Eileen Namer, Sam Namer, Don St. Clair, J.J. Roth, Linda Ehrensaft, Don Ehrensaft, Marcy Schulman, Joe Wagner, Sherry Silver, Barbara Frank, Don Copsey, Mike Roth, Dennis Sadler, LaShonda Galloway.
Thanks, Judy. Anyone out here?
Argreta McCarthy, Pat Beeman.
Okay. Jeannie? Did you? Oh, okay. Barbara? Thank you. Jeannie? Thank you. Anyone else? I will add a few names. Our former rabbi here, Robert Kersner, Ted Haddock, Linda Nelson, Margaret Pennington, Joanne Stein, Julia Hampton, Kevin Middleton, Brenda Gibson, Mickey D'Amato, Peter Yarrow, Anya Polara, Ben DeSalvo, Marilyn Thorpe, Megumi Allen, Marie Plakos, and all of those who are continuing to suffer from COVID-19 as this next strain really has upped the game. Judy.
Emily Hawk, Carl Hawk.
Bobby?
Edwin Speck, Susie Horowitz.
Thank you. Frank?
Bill Milligan, Nick Spinelli, Nicole Bravante, Jim Wade, and Rabbi Fred Matkin.
Thank you. Andrew? All right. So, please join us in the singing of Misha Berach.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu, v'kor havlecha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with Ruach Shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Thank you all. So, this is that time in the service where we talk about this week's Parsha, which I've already started doing. I was telling Judy earlier this evening that what I guess surprises me and sometimes amazes me is that no matter how many times I read this particular piece or any Parsha, I can read it 10 times, and each time I read it, it's like I'm seeing it for the first time. I'm not quite sure how that happens, but it happens every week. And I never cease to be amazed by it. So I like this particular parsha in part because the V'ahavta is here. We chant it every week. And I don't like this parsha. This whole thing is a monologue by Moses. Okay. But he says time and time and time again, you must fear the Lord. You must follow all of his instructions to the letter, or you will suffer consequences. Why do we have to fear the Lord? How do we love the Lord and fear the Lord simultaneously? This is a tough one. It's really tough because Moses says to the people of Israel, you will find those along the way as we go into Israel, into the land of Israel, who need to be annihilated. And think about that. God says to us, annihilate people. Many years ago, when I was studying to become a paramedic, I was doing a rotation in the ICU, intensive care unit of a particular hospital, and the resident physician there saw an opportunity, a teaching moment. And it was time the family had decided to remove a particular patient from life support, which meant that she would pass within a minute or so. And he said, you do it. What do you mean, me do it? Yeah, I want you to do it. I wasn't trained to do that. I did it because I was told to do it, but I never should have, because somewhere in my head and heart, I knew this was not the right thing for me to do. Might be the right thing for somebody else to do, but I had trouble doing it. That's probably 32, 33 years ago. And I remember it to this day. It makes me sick to my stomach. We do things because we're told to do them. You're told to fear God. On Yom Kippur, we pray forgiveness for sins, whether we committed them or not. We pray for the entire community, because if you should eat on Yom Kippur, surely the Lord shall strike you down. What, you want to eat shrimp? Lobster? You crazy? That's not kosher. You eat that, Lord's going to kill you. Jeannie and I were watching a TV show not too long ago where an ultra-Orthodox young woman found herself eating a ham sandwich. She didn't know it was ham. And she immediately ran out of the restaurant. She thought, I'm going to die. And she didn't. It's fine to follow these rules if you want. But if you choose otherwise, why do we have to feel guilty about it? Why do we have to feel like we need to hide it? We make a choice. Is God really going to strike us down because you ate shrimp? But listening to Moses' words this week, that's exactly what you can expect. And you need to annihilate people. I wasn't trained to kill people. Perhaps you weren't trained to kill people. We do have a police officer here. I think he was. So we'll send him up ahead and let him annihilate everybody. And these people, they have sinned against God who they've never known. They pray to idols because that's all they ever knew. And Moses is telling his people, you must slaughter them to win the favor of God. I have a problem with this. I have a real problem with this. If God wanted them dead,
they're dead. The earth will swallow them up, and that's that. Why does he make the people of Israel kill people? Yes, their crime was to worship idols. I get that. But without so much as a, hey, do you want to see another way to do this? They march into the land of Israel and wipe out entire peoples. They're also told, don't take any of their silver or gold. Don't touch their idols. They'll just smash them. You just smash them. This is a hard parsha. Moses says to the people of Israel, you are a stiff-necked people. He uses those exact words. I interpret that as you're a stubborn lot. That part I agree with. We are a stubborn lot. We are the only religion on the face of the earth that not only is allowed to argue with God, it's practically told that you must. So we're allowed to argue, but we're not allowed to go our own way without horror befalling us. I don't buy it anymore. I remember a little 8-year-old girl who was dying of cancer. I don't know what her thing was with God. I don't know why 6 million Jews and 4 million others had to be wiped out in the worst possible way during World War II. I don't understand why a merciful God would do that, would allow that. And I don't know that I'll ever understand it. But I don't know. I mean, one of the Jewish thoughts at the start of World War II, people said, I have God on my side. Who on earth should I fear? And so they did not leave Germany or Austria or Poland or Lithuania. I believe the Lord helps the person who helps him or herself. I think it's just that simple. We do the very best we can. But I like Polonius when he said, to thine own self be true. So I ask you please to think about this week. Think about those who have done absolutely nothing to tick off anybody, especially God. I've been thinking about it all week, trying to figure out how is there a positive spin to this. I'm really not sure I have it. I tried. But as I told you at the start, this particular parsha, every time I read it, I see something new. But everything new just seems to get under my skin. If I was told by Rabbi Jesse that I had to go out and annihilate people, go into that church and kill everyone in there, got to be kidding me. But that's exactly what Moses said to his people. And it's exactly what God expected. And if they didn't do it, they would suffer the consequences by death. Something for us to think about this week. At least this Shabbat, we have a chance to think individually, collectively, about something we often don't think about. But as on Yom Kippur, we beat our chests asking forgiveness for sins. I always wonder what that little 8-year-old girl did to deserve that fate. Shabbat Shalom.
if you would please turn to page 586. I will ask Barbara and Jackie, would you mind coming down, and if you will take the parachut and just move it aside, and at the end of the Aleinu, bring it back, and then that's all you have to do. We're not going to close the ark this time because we have this amazing parachut. So if you wouldn't mind, please join us and just draw back the curtain. That's it. Perfect. Just take a moment and look at that. I hope the camera can sort of zoom in on our Torahs. They've always been there, but they look so much better. Thank you, Bobby Horowitz. He saw what their potential was, and he made it real. The silver, the covers, everything. It really is awe-inspiring. Please turn to page 586 for the Aleinu. And please rise. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית שלא עשנו כגויי הרצו ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה שלא שם חלקנו כהם וגורלנו ככל המונה ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהוא נוטה שמיים ועושה הארץ ומושב יקרוב בשמיים ממעל ושינת עוזו בגוהי מרומים הוא אלוהינו אינו אמת מלכנו אפת זולתו ככתוב בתורתו וידעת היום והשיבות אל לבביך כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתחת עינו. Page 588. For you spread out the heavens and established the earth. Your majestic abode is in the heavens above, and your mighty presence is in the loftiest heights. You are our God, and there is none else. In truth, you are our sovereign without compare, as is written in your Torah. Know then this day and take it to heart, that Adonai is surely God in the heavens above, and on the earth below. There is none else. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו Please be seated. I also want to take a moment just to thank Judy and Bill Kern for the parachut. That was their vision they made possible. We have an extraordinarily beautiful sanctuary. We have taken this time during COVID to bring this to a new luster. I hope when you're able that you will come back and see it for yourself. You're always welcome any Friday night, as long as we know who you are so that we can keep tabs if necessary. We trust no one will get sick. You know that devar that I just did? That's very typical of Judaism, isn't it? I was arguing with God. Why do I have to be afraid of you? Why can't I just love you? Why can't I just celebrate you? Why do I have to be afraid? That's what it means to be Jewish. To sincerely say, why are we doing this? What if you refuse to be afraid? We started something when COVID began, which now feels like 110 years ago. We started every Friday night chanting El Malei Rachamim. It is a prayer for the dead, normally chanted at the graveside or on Yom Kippur. And we're doing it every Friday night for all those who have lost their lives anywhere in the world from COVID-19. I will take this moment to ask you that if you have not yet been vaccinated, please, for everyone in the community, please reconsider that. Frank told me that one of his dear friends, who has been adamantly opposed to getting vaccinated, has changed her mind because it's that important to the total community. If you know people or you're a person who can get it, please, please do. This new variant, I'd say, from everything we've read, we brought it on ourselves. Now we have to deal with it. El Malei Rachamim. El Malei Rachamim. Shochein Baromim. I'm stopping for a moment. Yesterday was the one-year anniversary of the passing of my beloved father-in-law, George Kirchhoff. I will be inserting his name where names can be recited in this, so you will understand why I chose that name tonight. Could you give me that? Thank you. El Malei Rachamim, Shochein Baromim, Hamsei Menucha Nechona, Tacha Kanfei HaShekhinah, Im Kedoshim HaTeharim, Kezohar Harakia, Masirim, Lanishmot, George Frederick Kirchhoff, Yakireino, Shalcho leoleamam, Bal harachamim, harachamim, ויסתירם בסתר כנפיו לעולמים. ויצרור בצרור החיים את נשמתם. אדוני הוא נחלתם. ויענו בשלום על משכבם. ונאמר אמן. I like it better when the rabbi is here because I can get a moment to compose myself again. For those of you who are in a period of Shiva, the first 7 days after a loved one has passed, please, if you're out there via the internet, just type in that name for us now in the chat function. Judy will read it. If anyone here in the sanctuary has a name in the first 7 days, in the first 30 days, the period of Shloshim, anyone? We remember those who have passed within the past 12 months. And it's so specific that my father-in-law's name no longer appears because yesterday was that 12th month. Joanne Sexton, Maurice Goldstein, Dr. Jim Bartling, Bob Molnar, Vicki Morton, Ned Isaacs, Zelda Abbas, Richard Eggers, Joel Kellner, Daniel Jacob Horowitz, Amelia Gress, Marcia Manishin, Irma Schiller, Daniel Joseph Middleton, Larry Kramer, David Yarborough. We also remember 4 people who in years past died within this week. Don Friedis, Sonia Friedis' husband. Jean Greenbaum, Felice Friedman's mother. Francis Rodriguez, Sandra Lesser's mother. And George Kirchhoff, Jeannie Nicholsberg's father. Thank you. Anyone else? Would you please rise as we recite the mourner's Kaddish together? Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, page 598. B'almad tivrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala v'zman kariv. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'almei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yithalev v'yithalal shmei d'kedusha b'richu le'elam kol b'chata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechemata da'miran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shamaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimroma, uyaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Please be seated. Someone asked me in this past week, why when we say that last verse, why do we bow in 3 different directions? It came from the early time in Judaism, when the high priest would bow first to the Israelites on his left, then to the Levites on his right, and finally to Kohanes, who were in the middle. It's a tradition we started back then. It lives on today. We're going to sing Oseh Shalom. We will do it 6 times. It gets faster and faster with each one. I invite you, please, to join us. Oseh Shalom Imromav Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'yakol Yisrael Va'imeru Amen.
Oseh Shalom Imromav Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'yakol Yisrael Va'imeru Amen.
Oseh Shalom Imromav Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'yakol Yisrael Va'imeru Amen.
Oseh Shalom Imromav Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'yakol Yisrael Va'imeru Amen.
Oseh Shalom Imromav Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'yakol Yisrael Va'imeru Amen. Last time, please join us.
Oseh Shalom Imromav Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'yakol Yisrael Va'imeru Amen.
It's time for announcements. Judy, I'll turn this microphone over to you.
Well, first of all, I want to thank all of you guys up there. I have to tell you, I've been monitoring the stream, and the voices sounded really pretty going out tonight. Project Isaiah is virtual this year. We will not be collecting cans of food in the barrels like we have been. They are asking for donations of money to the Atlanta Community Food Bank, and they can make your donations go pretty far. Sunday at 10 o'clock, there is a Sunday school information session for those parents considering registering their children. Please come out and join us. There was a high holiday email last week with links to signing up for the Book of Remembrance and participation in the services. Please look through your emails and sign up. If you can't find it, please let me know. I will send it to you again. For those of you in the building, we just got new copies of the Atlanta Jewish Times. They're out in the lobby, so please pick them up. I schlep them in from the house. Please take them away so I don't have to do something with them again. There will be no stream tomorrow, and next week, Denise and I get a day off. And I want to thank Officer Savage for having our back and protecting us.
No one in his right mind would argue with someone named Officer Savage, right? Who would do that? Yes, sir, I think is the correct response. Would you please rise for the blessing as we close this evening's service? We will sing Yivarechecha.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May the Lord bless you and keep you.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha.
May the Lord shed light upon you and be gracious unto you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May the Lord look over you, be gracious unto you, and give you peace.
V'yasem lecha shalom.
Safe travels, Rabbi Jesse. Shabbat Shalom.